Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to walk through the fight with the Mistress of Night, Huang Yan and Wuchang Fallen Feathers. So like my other videos, first we'll kind of kick things off and I'll go through the build and various items I utilized. And then after that we'll get into the fight itself and I'll demonstrate and kind of talk about the strategy that I used to complete it. Alright, so quickly going through my build and my items and everything. If you've watched any of my previous videos, this is going to be a pretty similar build. However, I do throw in a couple changes specifically for this boss, which I'll talk about. But still using the Lashing Whip's longsword, which you can see I've got to +6 now after finding some more brilliant red feathers. And then I'm also going to use the axe real quick before the fight to get some Skyborn Might, which I'll show as well. But I've got those two as my weapons. And then for my armor, I've got this full bridal armor set that I found, which if you don't have this, I found it right before the Hills Watch Shrine. There's a door that you can open, and if you go inside there, that's where I found this set. And reason being is this boss primarily does corruption and frost based damage, so I kind of just went full corruption resistance. If you don't have this, or if you want to use something else, you could use like focus on frost damage as well, would probably work. But that's what I went with. And then for my pendants, I'll just kind of quickly show you what I had there. And then really the other last thing I want to call out in terms of items and whatnot is this Corruptive Flame spell. So I'll be using that in the fight. And if you don't have this and you want to use it, I purchased it from Wuchang, that little merchant guy, and I believe I had to give him the incense burner first to unlock the ability to purchase it, which, again, it's kind of hard to describe where things are in this game, but it was on the statue before the big palace where you fight Commander Honglan, so that's where I found that. So this boss does seem to be kind of, from what I could tell, weak to corruption. That seemed to work the best. I tried out a couple elements, so I'll be throwing that in there as well. So those are the items, and then for reference, I was level 43 when I did this fight, and I'll kind of just show you all of my stats here if you want to take a look at that. And then finally, taking a look at my skill allocation. So going down the left side of the tree, you can see all of the various mana vase upgrades I've been able to get up to this point. So make sure that you are taking advantage of those. And then, as mentioned, I'm going to be focusing on corruption-based damage for this fight. So I've got that Bone Needle unlocked there. Further down, a couple other things like an additional Temperance Charge, Acupoint unlock, and then finally going down here to get an additional stack of Skyborn Might. So that's the left side, and then as mentioned, again, I'm going to be using the longsword. However, I do have some points on the other weapons just to get these +5 stats unlocked, so I've got all of those down around the tree. And then for the longsword, nothing really special in terms of a skill I'm going to be using or anything, but you know, I've got, this is where I get like up to +6 on my weapon with those going down here, getting strong blade upgrades, as well as kind of just continuing the tree to find more of these +5s. So again, I'm not really using any specific skills or anything, rather than sort of the normal things like Sword Saint and Wind Force, and then also Sword Master, just to build up Skyborn Might and then do those quick heavy charge attacks. So that's kind of what my build looks like, and now we'll get into the fight. So starting from the Snowfall Palace Shrine, as mentioned, we can quickly use the axe on the way to the boss arena to get 3 stacks of Skyborn Might with the Thunderous Cleave skill, hitting the enemy with the 4th swing of that light attack combo. By the time you make it to the boss, you'll probably lose 1 from time decay, but you should have 2 still ready to go as you head into the arena. Before crossing through the boss wall, I'm going to activate my temper with the Corruption Needle to get that activated and then make my way inside. She may be pretty aggressive right off the bat as she can teleport right next to you, so be prepared to dodge whatever she throws at you. It seemed pretty random what she decided to open with on all of my attempts, but my main focus was just to get her positioned somewhere in the middle of the arena with some distance between us. Next, I want to use my Skyborn Might to get off a fast heavy charge attack using Wind Force to stagger her and then follow up with an Obliterate. She has a couple different moves that will present an opportunity to hit her from behind, but I think the easiest is probably when she activates this spell that gives you a pretty big window to run around to her back. That being said though, if you keep an eye out for opportunities and focus on dodging around her, you should be able to get a back hit in a number of different ways. She spins around when she does her combo attacks, which if you dodge and then time right, you can stagger her there. And if you've got 2 stacks of Skyborn Might, hitting her from the front first and then immediately circling around behind with another heavy charge attack works out pretty well too. But ultimately, just be patient and keep your distance while you look for that opportunity, and then after that Obliterate, immediately follow up with a 5-hit combo while she's on the ground, which should give you enough Skyborn Might to cast Corruptive Flames afterwards to get that damage over time effect if your weapon didn't fully fill up the corruption gauge on her from the attack. Also worth noting, if she does this purple orb attack, it's a pretty easy way to get another point of Skyborn Might if you just run up to it and then dodge through it. But anyways, this should be enough damage to take you into phase 2, which will begin her Snow Dragon attack. You can time your dodges if that works. However, during this portion, I found it was easier just to kind of constantly run away and keep as much distance as possible. You'll still probably have to do a little bit of dodging, but many of these attacks won't reach far enough to hit you. After 3 or 4 rounds of those attacks, she should then go back to a moveset that's pretty similar to phase 1, and really you just kind of need to look out for similar opportunities to get in a stagger on her back and then follow with an Obliterate attack and just kind of do the same thing. Ideally, before this, you'll want to reactivate the Corruption Needle on your weapon as well, which I forgot to do, but 2 more of these cycles should be more than enough to finish this boss, along with a few Corruptive Flame spells thrown in as I kind of move around. So I'll play the rest of the fight from here and leave you with that. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you found it helpful, and we will catch you in the next one. Bye.